Hey guys, this is Nathan and welcome back to FTB Beyond from the CreedCraft server. So I was doing a little checking on our Terra Shatterer and I found out that we can put efficiency 5 on here as well as unbreaking and mending. So hopefully that will help things out. But in order to do that, we need to get some levels. So we have 10 levels right now, but that is not even going to come close. So what I figured to do was to come over here to our mob farm and put in wooden spikes instead of these iron spikes. Now wooden spikes will take the mobs down to half a heart and then we can kill them. Now another advantage to that is it will level up our sword quite rapidly. So in order to do this, we are going to have to do our best to reach in here and get these things in here, and that was kind of what I was afraid of. So it's going to be a little tough to put these in here, but once we get them in, the mobs will no longer be killed except the ones that go up to the top. And so we'll be able to sit here and poke at them through the bottom and get some XP. So, yeah, I am going to do my best to get this in here, and then I'll come back. So, disaster struck again. So I had the wooden spikes in, and a creeper blew up again, and so I decided instead we are going to go with golden spikes, because these cause mobs to drop XP. So this will kill the mobs automatically, but we will get XP out of them. So that'll be really nice. Now another issue that we have right now is that some of our vector plates are missing. So I'm not sure how I'm going to get those back in there with the mob farm being active. I may have to do like I did before and dig all of the cursed earth out and then go and get some more whatever the drop of evil. But yeah, right now you can see we have mobs that are just sitting here and we need to get those into the spikes. So I suppose I could try to reach in from a different location. I can get these over here on the side from the outer edge, and it is nighttime. So, no, somebody slept for us. I wouldn't have been able to sleep anyway because mobs. But, yeah, I gotta try to get these vector plates back in here, and then this should be working quite a bit better. Well, what it looks like is when you expose this to a high enough level of sunlight, mobs stop spawning. So that is pretty nice. We could actually have an on-off switch on this thing with some pistons up here to pull blocks off of these holes. So let's go ahead and get down here and put our vector plates on. Now vector plates you can move on if you hold shift. So that is a good little tip if you didn't know that. Otherwise, they will just push you everywhere. So, yeah, that was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be to get those vector plates back in there. So now we'll just button this back up, and of course we have smooth stone now. And right away, yep, you can hear the mobs spawning again almost immediately. So that is perfect. So now we should be able to get some experience, and I suppose the thing to do here would be to get probably to at least level 40. This is going to take a little while, but I'm going to let these guys do their death routine for a while, and yeah, I will be back in a little while, and hopefully we can get some enchanting done. So I took a look at a couple of other things here. We have efficiency, unbreaking, and mending. Now if you're curious as to how to get multiple items into your JEI search, you put down the first item and then you put this bar symbol. It's shift to the backslash. but it separates each one and allows you to put in multiple items. So we have efficiency on breaking and mending. Now the efficiency we've already looked at, which is redstone. Unbreaking is just obsidian. That is pretty simple. And mending takes an experience rod. Now another thing with this is I don't think we have enough lapis for this, but the experience rod takes solarium and energetic alloy, and even though we have the alloy smelter here, I don't feel we're quite ready for that. My most valuable one right now is efficiency. So we are going to move the items in here. We want as many as we can. Oh man, that is going to take 33 levels. So we have 3 levels left to possibly, or 7 levels left to possibly get this onto the Terra Shatter, and it's going to take 6. Okay, well that's not too bad. We'll have to revisit this here in a little bit when we have some more experience so that we can try for unbreaking. But right now I think I am going to head back to the mining world and see. We should be pretty close to Instamine now with this. So here we are. We're back in our big quarry mine, and let's turn on the Terra Shatter and find out. Oh wow. Yeah, I think if we had something to get us what is it, haste 2, we would be insta-mining. So let's take a look. Is there anything to give us haste? So we do have these Ring of Haste from Actually Additions, Diamantine crystal blocks, repeaters, nether wart, and a water bottle. The ring is pretty simple. We have one of these atomic reconstructors, so that would give us the Ring of Haste. Oh, an Ender Star. So we are going to have to take on the dragon and a wither to do that one. Is there anything else? So we do have Vial of Adrenaline from Botania. Interesting. So that takes netherwort, sugar, and a gold nugget. But there's apparently a stronger version? I guess not. That's haste 2. Then we also have some condensed potions from Reliquary, a splash condensed potion, and a lingering condensed potion. So yeah, we do have some things that could give us haste. The RF tools. I didn't know that we had RF tools. Okay, well that's pretty neat. But yeah, I think this advanced Ring of Haste is where we're going to want to go. But maybe we could just make this regular Ring of Haste right now, and that would speed us up a little. But this is pretty fast now. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to do some mining for a while. Now, I know that some of the other guys have been doing mining on camera. I don't know, there's just so many particles going on here, and really I'm not doing anything other than walking in a straight line. So I kind of feel that I'm not going to do that, but I will gather up tons of resources. Now the item barrel that I have set up for stone, you can see it has the ability to hold 262,000 items. So we could mine here for some time. I think what's going to stop me is a lack of mana. So we may have to look at automating mana production. But yeah, we're definitely going to have a lack of mana. And I'll probably just mine until I run out here. And then I'll try to go back and refill some of my mana tablets. And this is going to be a problem a lot of the time too. So, I have to fill these stupid little pools in. But yeah, I'm going to do some mining for a while. Mostly I'm doing this to collect stone, of course, so yep, I will be back in a little while. So this was only about maybe 15 minutes worth of mining, and we got over 10,000 smooth stone. And that is just the smooth stone. That does not take into account all of the diorite, granite, andesite, dirt, and gravel that we picked up, as well as ores, which we got quite a bit of coal, apatite, a little copper. There is a lot of stuff that came from that little spot. So yeah, we're gonna have to try to figure out ways to properly deal with fortuning silk-touched ores. But as you can see, I did run out of mana. And not only did I run out of mana, I even put a little bit of durability damage onto the Terra Shatterer itself. Now that is not all that big of a deal, because once we get some mana back into our mana tablets, this guy will start to absorb the mana and regenerate just like that. So that's no big deal. Now I can see we've got quite a bit of XP sitting here at the mob farm, so I'm going to need to get in here and clean all of this up. But yeah, we definitely got some materials that we needed there. And so gonna take a look now at possibly getting some automation in the mana production, because I would really like to get this Terra Shatterer up to rank A, but we don't have enough charcoal at the moment, so it's going to take a little bit of work to get this all working properly. For now, I suppose I can set up my big spruce trees here and chop them down for a little while, and I will do a little bit of mana generation. And actually, looking here, I have a little bit of mana here, so ooh, what was that glitch? There was a blue line going off to the side there. So we can actually see the effects of this mana. So when we pick this back up, we can see now that the durability on this thing is going up as it is sucking down the mana tablet. So I'm going to drop this other mana tablet in there, and like I said, I'm going to start cutting some trees for charcoal. I'll get more mana generation going. I'll probably toss this guy onto the mana pool so that we can get more ranking. And it might be a good idea to move all of this stuff so that we can get back up to the 64 endo flames. I might do that now that we have a ready supply of bones for fertilizer for our petal production. But yeah, don't know where I would put it. Guess maybe I could go a little further that way. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get to that, and I will see you guys after a little bit. So guys, a major update. Couple hours worth of work here. I have 64 endo flames now, pumping through 8 mana spreaders into 2 mana pools. And this produces a very large amount of mana using my charcoal blocks. I've also been collecting a lot of charcoal via the spruce tree farm that I set up over here. Now this was originally just a simple oak farm. I decided to make it a little bit more user-friendly, having torches under glass so that the torches don't interfere with the tree growth and you don't fall into a hole, things like that. And what I'm talking about with interfering with the tree growth, if you set up a 4x or a 2x2 spruce tree like this with a torch right next to it, it sees this torch as a block that interferes with the growth of the tree. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this position will interfere with the growth of the tree, but I know that even grass, if you have grass or tall grass in these 2 squares here, it will interfere with the growth of the tree. So yeah, that's something to think about anytime that you're setting up a spruce tree farm. And that is true for vanilla Minecraft as well. So, yeah, that is general Minecraft mechanics. But I'm getting a little tired of chopping trees, manually putting this stuff in here, because I went and did quite a bit more mining in the mining dimension, and I don't know what's going on with these item barrels. They keep glitching out. But we have 461 stacks of smooth stone. That is almost 30,000 smooth stone now. And also we have tons of other stuff and almost 8 stacks of coal ore already, as well as a bunch of apatite and copper that we picked up in the first few layers of the quarry. And the main reason that I did that is because our TerraShatterer is now rank A. So we are mining a 5x5 area here. If I go ahead and do this, we can see, and that seemed pretty loud in my ears. I'll have to check that later. But we break a 5x5 area with Silk Touch. Very nice. So we're going to continue trying to upgrade our Terra Shatter as time goes on, but I want to set up something for this to be automated. What I would really like to be able to do is have somewhere that a person can come and drop off an empty mana tablet and take a full one. So that's what I've got in my mind for what I want to build here. Now, we're not going to use a full 64 Endoflames because, quite frankly, this is just a lag generator if you leave it set up, especially if it's automatically running. So I was talking with Apache Tech here a little bit ago, and he had the suggestion of using the Ender IO farming station with an unbreakable matic that has auto smelt on it. So we don't know for sure if that's going to work, but that is what we're going to try. So I know that the farming station takes some stuff that we don't have yet, namely this Z-Logic controller, and of course the pulsating crystals. So we're going to have to get some pulsating iron set up. Let's see here. Oh, well, that's pretty simple. So yeah, I'm going to gather up the resources that we need for this, and hopefully we have everything we need for the Z-Logic controller. We do have pretty much everything else. So I'm going to get going on that. So I think I have come up with a little bit better system than these Endoflames as far as producing mana here in the spawn area. So I was looking through the Lexica Botania for the generating flora, and I saw that we have the hydrangeas. Now, the hydrangeas act as a liquid-based passive generator. They will suck up still water in a 3x3 area around the same height, creating mana from it. The amount they produce is comparable to that of an Endoflame. They also seem to function faster during rain. So these Endoflames, they take charcoal, pain in the butt, to deal with. And they also make a huge amount of noise. You can see I put a sound muffler in here because it was just ridiculous how loud it was over here. But the hydrangeas, they just suck up water. Now, because of that, we have to craft them repeatedly. It says here, hydrangeas are fleeting flora. They will decay after 1 hour of real-world time. So, yeah, not the greatest thing in the world, but at the same time, crafting a few of them every hour, not too bad, when the recipe is nothing more than 2 blue petals, 2 cyan petals, and a seed in the petal apothecary. So, yeah, we are going to be trying to get something set up with that, and we will probably be pulling this down. So I have here a whole bunch of crafting stations that hopefully have all of the stuff that we need. So one thing that we need to have for this is a little bit of power generation. Now, unfortunately, right now I am very low on lapis, so I was going to make some solar panels, but I don't have any lapis, so we'll just pass on that. Instead, we are going to make some basic gears from Ender.io, and we'll make a Stirling generator. Now, this thing, I can't remember if it makes 60 or 80 RF a tick out of coal and charcoal, but it will produce some power for this system until we can get some solar panels up and running. So next we have an iron casing from Actually Additions, which takes black quartz. Now the black quartz is just nether quartz and coal. Pretty simple stuff. And we're going to put that in the middle of this recipe, and then we're going to pop back here real quick. And we have 4 iron blocks set up here in front of our atomic reconstructor. We're going to turn this on for 1 cycle. There we go. So that made 4 Inori blocks. So, oh, it missed one. Okay, well, let's do it again. There we go. So now we have 4 Inori blocks. And we are going to put those around the 4 corners of this, and we get an Actually Additions farmer. Now this is going to be used for gaining our seeds for the Petal Apothecary, and we're going to set up a barrel that will collect the wheat from just a regular wheat farm like this. Now the farmer here will handle a 9x9 area, so we can have a farm exactly as big as this, and it will harvest everything and toss it away for us. You know, put it in various locations. So the next thing we need is something to make the petals that we're going to need for crafting these flowers. So for that, we're going to be making a Tier 1 RF Tools crafter, and we need 2 of these, and you'll see why in a little while. So we're going to make 2 of these machine frames. We're going to put those in here, and we get 2 crafter Tier 1s. Now each of these has 2 recipes, so we'll have 1 for the flowers and 1 for the other thing. Next, we have item conduits from Ender.io. Now these are going to be necessary for moving items around in this system. We have pulsating iron nuggets. These are made with ender pearl and iron in the alloy smelter, and the conduit binder, which is binder composite smelted in a furnace, and the binder composite is just gravel, sand, and clay. Each one of these recipes will give you 16 of these conduit binders. So it doesn't take a lot to get a lot of those, but we're going to make a bunch of those. And now this is a little bit of help that I got from Apache Tech. We are going to need to make a sink from cooking for blockheads. Now this is how we're going to get our water for the Petal Apothecary. And I didn't realize we got the bucket back from that. Okay, well that's cool. And finally, we need at least 8 mechanical users. So this is hopefully... Oh, and we need some basic item filters. And that is not what I wanted. These are just paper around a hopper. Very simple. So hopefully this is all of the blocks that we need to make this work, with the exception of a little bit of redstone. So what I'm going to do now is rip down this current endoflame system and see about setting something up that will work for making our hydrangeas so that we can get passive mana generation. So just getting the automated petal system to work is really frustrating me. So I finally got something that I think is going to work, but we are short a couple of items. First off, we need some way to transmit energy. So I'm going to go ahead and make up some of these energy conduits, and those will make or transfer 640 RF a tick, our generator is not going to come close. Next up, we need to make a pulsating crystal. Now this is pulsating iron nuggets around a diamond. So we'll make that and we will drop it into this recipe. We have a pants pattern of iron with a chest, and we're going to put this in here. That makes the vacuum chest. Now the vacuum chest is really what we want here. So we are going to plop this down right here, and we are going to set its range down to 2, I think. Now we're going to take a basic item filter, throw this in here, and we are going to take a tall mystical flower and whitelist this. So that will now have that, and then we need, unfortunately, to pull the items out and send them over to the crafter. Okay, so that should take care of that. Now the last thing that we have to do here is to put down our generator and transmit some power. So for now I am going to place the generator right here. That will power both this crafter and that one once we put some energy conduit here. So we'll put that on there. We will also turn off that particular spot, the item conduit there, because we don't want flowers going in here, even though I don't think we would anyway. But we are going to go ahead and grab some charcoal so that we can power this thing. But first off, what do we have in the crafters? So this crafter here, we are making the mystical orange petals from tall mystical orange flowers. Now granted, this is not what we're going to be crafting in the long term. This was just a test. So we have that happening, and then we have an item conduit here pulling out of the back of the crafter and immediately dumping into this mechanical user. Now the mechanical user has some filter blocks in it and a single location for mystical orange petals. So the way Ender.io conduits work is they will dump into the closest inventory unless we place the wrong item, unless we set this to round robin enabled. Now we do not want it enabled, we want it disabled because we want to keep this mechanical user filled with petals before we work our way down the system. Now I've come down here and put in a dropper as a buffer. Now this dropper also has the filter items in it just to give a little bit more signal strength out of this comparator. And yes, I know we're in modded, there is simpler ways to do this, but this is quick and dirty and I wanted to get it done because this was racking my brain. So 34 items will give us enough redstone signal to turn this redstone clock off and deactivate our system over here. So once one item is taken out of that dropper, this clock will start running. It will start using this mechanical user to use bone meal on the petal that is already in the ground. And a couple of ticks later, it will use this mechanical user to shear the tall flower. And that's where this crafter comes in. We have stone shears. Now these are very simply just 2 cobblestone. Very simple. So I think now what we are ready to do is start generating some power. Oh, 20 RF a tick. Yikes. Okay, well that's not very much, but you can see we have stone shears being produced, and this is completely full of those. And you can also notice that our flowers are gone. So we should have some extra petals over here. If we take half of these out, there it goes. So as soon as it crafts enough items... Oh, whoops. My Botania ring is trying to pull the items in. So that was a bit of a derp on my part. So the Botania ring was trying to pick the items up. Now if we pull these items out again, we should see that fairly quickly this will fill up. And we get to 41 in this case, and the system shuts down. So we will be able to keep a small buffer of petals, and we'll have to set up one of these for each color that we need. Thankfully, we only need 2 colors. But we can also reuse the vacuum chest because we can have item filters on the conduits coming out. And we can reuse this crafter that makes the stone shears. So that is what we've got for petal automation. And I will try to refine the system between episodes and do a little bit of thinking about the next part of the system, because we are out of time for today. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Be sure to check out the other guys on the CreedCraft server down in the description. And I will see you next time. Bye.